Hello, everyone. Sorry we're late going live, but Ronnie was talking about films.
Ronnie was not gas bagging Stevie, you cheeky sod.
Or gas baging.
Or gas bagging, yes.
Welcome to Dune. Take it away, Phil.
It is June, Saturday night June again, yes. And I was sort of thinking last week you'd got the princess or the bride back to your city, and you encountered one of the guards was actually under the influence of drugs that he was trading for information for. You found out where he was getting the drugs from, and it led you to the guy that was taking the information. Yes, and you led that back to another minor house on your own planet, another minor house under the Carino banner, called Evangelista. And I believe the plan you had was to go and do a very similar sort of thing to them.
Hadn't we been given a mission?
Yes. The plan is to basically do that. We're going to take down House Ordos, right? But
yes,
we have to time it beautifully. So we've set up some disinformation, or we have it ready to go for disinformation. I think we have to take on the minor house first, simply because it's close and it might offer more opportunities to learn more. So yes, we're in intelligence gathering phase for taking down House Ordos, because frankly they deserve it.
They all deserve it.
Yes. So did you? I can't remember actually at the end. Did you actually go there yet, or not?
I think we finished the session before actually setting off anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, whatever you want to do before you go, you better think about now and do it. So, if you want any equipment to take with you, disguises, that sort of thing.
All my usual surveillance stuff, las gun, all that kind of thing. Yeah. Why would I not have a las gun?
How's the training of your prisoner coming along?
She's prepared, but I need more prisoners, basically. So I'm thinking, well, yeah, because originally it was just for, hey, this will be a cool way to end the campaign when it comes. But now I'm thinking we actually need to take out House Ordos. And how would a house like us do that? Well, we need the nuclear option. Nukes are expensive, but there's this much cheaper way of doing it we've got. So, because there's no way we can't fight House Ordos on the battlefield. We just have to do a beautifully timed and situated strike, right?
Yeah, you would stand no chance in open warfare. It'll have to.
Yeah, exactly. So we have to actually debilitate their army before fighting them. And I figure the best way to do that is to blow their planet up.
Oh yeah, you did suggest that beforehand, yes.
Yeah.
What is this, Star Wars?
Yes. Need a Death Star.
You may fire when ready.
That sounded very South Park, actually. I
was doing Grand Moff Tarkin.
Okay.
So what I'm thinking is we need to develop some kind of planetary shield that we can sell to House Ordos.
And then shoot las guns at it.
What, as in like a faulty shield?
No, we'll make it so that only lasers at a certain frequency explode.
Okay.
Like we'll make it actually bounce off las gun bullets, but at a certain frequency it goes boom, and we'll have that frequency. That's my thinking.
Have you got somebody at hand who can make it?
It's a work in progress.
Yeah. He's buying you
With those very specific parameters.
yeah, he's buying your electronics manual for your Christmas present. So, so it's down to you. Yeah, okay then. So you can get all your security kit back together. Doctor is what are you doing? You selecting some drugs and stuff to take?
I suppose so. Yes.
Are you arranging some sort of disguises for everybody?
Actually,
I didn't think that was my expertise, but I could.
I've had a thought, guys. What if we set up like a radio detector van and drive around the place with that? We actually, Phil, how do we learn languages?
Vote Atomica.
How to learn languages?
Or like, do we have people who know the house language of other houses?
You possibly, obviously, the battle language is secret to each house. You would have to make some sort of roll or have some sort of code breakers to try and break that.
So, but if their battle language is known by their soldiers, presumably it's not then. It couldn't be known by the soldiers.
Probably, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, because then anyone could be captured and tortured, isn't it? So it's probably only a certain number of. Yeah, it's only probably like with the guys. Only certain people would have the code book, effectively, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
It's communications officers and higher ranking staff, perhaps.
So we need to get ourselves a communications officer. That's what we need to do. We need to get one addicted to these drugs we've just commandeered.
Well, I can do the drug administration. It's just getting the right person.
Moral compensatory.
That's a matter of triangulation. See, if we triangulate where the broadcasts come from, find where like their military stuff is transmitting from, and then just follow someone that needs some kind of communications hub and sell them drugs. And if they don't buy, then we incentivize it.
Very well put.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Darius, what do you want to do? Anything you want to do before you leave?
I'm still mulling over the diplomatic ramifications of let's blow up a planet. I mean, I agree. I mean, if we want to wipe out the house, it would certainly accomplish it.
It's a bit drastic, though.
I was going to a tad, just lacks a tad subtlety to it, but you know. Anyway, I don't think I really need anything. I would like to perhaps get some books on that house.
Okay, yeah, you can certainly do that. That'll be okay.
So I can start looking at their culture and history and so on. Maybe find some way in on them.
Are you what's the word I'm looking for? Are you doing anything about arranging this visit for the bride's family?
Oh yeah.
As I said last week, I pretty much slow rolled it, but eventually all the paperwork did go through. Okay. I just held it off for a few days.
Do we need to stick around and deal with that before we leave?
Well, they're going to be there for a few days. Really, it's not going to be like a.
Well, we haven't got to the bottom of these tablets yet, have we?
No.
I'm almost at the point I kind of just want to outright ask her what the deal is.
You can if you want, but I've been a bit more delicate about the matter.
Yeah, I think...
I still think my theory is that she either wants to give them to somebody else, either for malicious purposes or to aid them in some way to help ease the pain or help them die, assisted dying.
What is the deal with that? We need to know.
We do.
What's the highest priority here?
Well, I mean, you could have people watch her from your staff. You can let a few people in on the secret, I suppose, and have them watch. Obviously, the other priority, the house, is sort of at stake.
Can you give her some placebos that we can trace, like that have some kind of emitter in them? Maybe a small radioactive signature or something.
As in, so we know that she's taken them, or in terms of being able to track the person who was
You
given
got it.
To track what happens to it. Because at the moment we're kind of relying on trying to watch the damn thing.
Even use that as a
Tracking
location for where it is as well.
Again, I'm going to ask the GM how possible this is.
Yeah, you can certainly do stuff with a small radioactive signature. I mean, especially if you think she's not taking it at the moment, or even give it if you think she's stockpiling it. Then yeah, I mean, it's not even necessarily going to do anyone any harm at the moment. So yeah, that is possible.
Well, it sounds like the others and I kind of agree. They kind of want to track things like symptoms when they come about. So would that be possible as well?
Well, you can only track the person. You can only
just the person.
Yeah, look at, and then you obviously be able to tell what symptoms the person had, but you won't be able to track their symptoms. No.
Okay.
But you'll be able to track who's taking it and where the actual drugs are, because they're giving off that radioactive.
Could he create a concoction that gave a very specific symptom?
Oh yeah, I'm sure you could certainly do that. I mean, they can do that now.
What
Such
sort of
as
symptom?
I was something benign, something like spots on the face or something.
But
something that's very easy to take.
For a Benny Gesserit, that's not benign at all.
Well, if she's the one that takes it, then fine. But if she's
not
hoarding
fine.
them
She's
to give
the
it,
bride of our Duke.
if she's hoarding it to give it to someone else,
I suppose
then we'll know exactly who it is.
She's not taking it.
Yeah, but
with she's saying.
With the radioactive isotope approach, we get to find out, because somebody will be emitting a certain amount of gamma radiation.
You can.
It doesn't need to be of a level that is harmful. Just detectable. Obviously, the stronger it is, the further away you can detect it from. But
it's not my way to administer harmful things anyway. So
well, it's not harmful if like you can take a certain amount of, what do they call it?
You take a boron mixture, don't you? That does that. That's a radioactive thing. They track they can map your insides with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You could do something like that. It might be a strange taste, but then again, if she's not taking it, she wouldn't know straight away anyway.
Yes.
Certainly.
My other theory, which is more worrying, is she just hoarding it and then wanting to take it all at once?
Well, I suppose your main priority in this case is she's probably you would be worried if she's going to give it to the Duke.
Yes, absolutely. However, if she is hoarding it and then wanting to take everything at once, presumably that will kill her, and then obviously the Duke will not be pleased.
Well, it won't, because they're all placebos.
They are for now, yes, but if I are now placebos...
You mean... Steve says laxatives.
Okay.
You even got the original one back from her. So...
You're right, I did, yes.
They're all placebos at the moment.
Yeah, but if we can just give her one tablet that has a radioactive isotope we can track, it doesn't need to be particularly strong, because I think we're only looking for it within this house.
Well, I mean, you'll have sensors all over the house, and you're going to have handheld sensors and all sorts of stuff.
Okay.
So just a week radioactive isotope of some kind, and then continue like with placebos.
And it might even be possible to alter the poison snoopers to track that as well.
Yeah, that's true as well. Okay, well, what I will do is I'll wait for her to come to me
Mhm.
and say, "Oh, it's not working. I need something better, or can I have some more of this and whatever." And then
Okay,
I'll say,
sure thing.
yes, maybe we should try on something else because this is obviously not working." And then give her like a tablet or whatever
Okay,
form it
so
comes in.
Darius gets a message back that the arrangements he's made is acceptable, and the bride's family will be visiting in 3 days' time.
Okay.
They intend to stay for a couple of weeks, and they look forward to visiting the area, looking around the city, and seeing the sights and seeing their door again, obviously, because she's been away in the chapter house for quite some time, training.
Okay.
And yeah, they're quite happy and look forward to finalising the last few arrangements for the wedding, including the date. And yeah, so you tell the Duke that, and he's quite happy with what you've arranged, and he issues some orders to get some things arranged, trips out and big banquets and things in their honour, gets rooms prepared for them, and sends you to tell her that this is happening, that they'll be here.
Meanwhile,
And,
I'm going to have I'm going to have a team put together an undercover radio communication snooping vehicle thing.
Okay, so you can take with you.
Yeah.
Some sort
Have you been paying your TV license? Because we've got detector vans out for you.
detector vans in your area. Yeah, so Darius, you go to see Scylla, and you to tell her this has all been arranged, this visit.
Yeah.
And she asks you, she says to you, "Oh, that's all those arrangements seem fine. I'm very pleased you've done that for me. Thank you. Would it be possible to see the doctor at all?"
I'm sure I can arrange Dr. Akez to come and see you.
Thank you. She said that, but that would be fantastic.
Please do enjoy yourself today, my lady. As you can imagine, affairs of state rather take my time away today.
And she says, "Will House Shavona be arranging a maid for me, or should I get someone from my father's house?"
I will
Sure,
make
mate.
inquiries.
Arrived yet?
Sorry,
Didn't we arrange that last week?
I can't
Made
remember.
for
Did
her.
you?
I thought we did.
Yeah,
okay,
I
sorry.
thought we were gonna.
I mean, we
Sort
didn't
something
role
out.
play through an interview process.
No, we didn't.
No, okay. I didn't remember that then.
Oh,
Okay.
you're welcome. Not a complaint.
Okay.
For now.
Another name to think of. Okay.
Oh, poor Phil.
So she says, "Yeah, can I see the doctor?" Effectively, if you could come and see me, that would be great.
I will ask him to attend you at his earliest convenience.
Oh, thank you very much. And Doctor, you get this request to go and visit Scylla.
Yeah, so I obviously make up the radioactive placebo either in a tablet, if that's the easiest, or whatever form.
Yeah.
Obviously put it on my person somewhere, probably in the medical bag, come to think of it. That'll probably be the easiest, and then I go over.
Okay, yeah, and you get to the door and ring the bell or whatever, with alarm beside the thing. And she says, "Oh, come in, Doctor. Very pleased to see you. Thank you for coming."
And you, my lady, what can I do for you today?
And she says, "Those things those drugs you've been giving me for sleeping. She says they don't seem to be working. Would it be possible to have more or something stronger?
When you say they're not working, can you tell me why they're not working?
She says, "Well, I'm still waking up during the night. I always find it still hard to get to sleep. It doesn't seem to be whether it's my makeup. That stuff just doesn't seem to work for me."
I would not see a reason as to why your makeup is relevant to how they work.
I just wondered perhaps if you could increase the dose or something for me.
Well, I wouldn't mind asking, for example, when you were traveling with us on the ship, were you waking up at certain points in the night, or did it not seem to be, have any correlation or anything? Was it just random in terms of?
And I just seem to be very restless during the night. Found it very hard to sleep, and I just put that down to travel.
Yes. But now you've been here, you're saying that it's the same, even though
Yes, it
you've
is
been
the
here for a
same.
while?
Yes.
Right, okay. I'm assuming without kind of thinking more that she's lying about it, but is there any kind of anything that's coming out with her mannerisms that's indicating, I guess,
Okay.
anything she wants to do or any motives?
Well, if you want to give me a roll for that, see how
I
high you
can.
get.
I wasn't sure if it was slim, that's all. I can give you,
It
psychology.
would need to be a high roll because he is Bene Gesserit.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, psychology or
Yeah.
like perception or something. Yeah. Okay. Oh God. Okay. So I got one on the drama die, but I've got 2 6s on the other dice.
Okay.
So
Well, only
8 in
afraid
total.
only one of those sixes count. I'm afraid.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
Okay.
So 8 in total, but 1 on the drama die.
Okay. So 8 is like a more upper moderate success. So she you can't really tell. You can tell there's something off, but you don't know what. You think that there is underlying something underlying that she's not telling you.
Yeah, I got that already.
But as you sort of watch her fairly intently, watching her facial features and trying to analyze the psychology, and she looks back at you, and you realise you've been staring at her for quite a while, trying to, and you think she got the opinion that you might quite fancy her a bit because you were just staring at her.
And if I do think that, then I will play on that and kind of look away, kind of bashfully, and say, "I'm sorry, my lady. I was miles away." But as a player, something that is strange to me is if she just simply wanted to assassinate somebody, why would she keep saying these drugs aren't working? She would surely just take the first drug and just keep it and then use it when she wants it. Why would she keep asking?
Because it's only a sleeping pill. She
more?
needs it in more quantity.
Yeah, she's like any sleeping draft. You want to go for OD.
There's one other thing though.
Yeah.
What if she just really doesn't want to have sex with the Duke? So she's going to keep giving him sleeping pills to keep him off her.
That's true. Well, we'll find out. I say to her, all right, I will.
There's got to be
administer a
easier
different-
ways.
I will administer a different drug, and I make a point of opening my medicine bag
And she
take
says,
out the capsule. And
okay,
say,
she walks over and she puts her hand on your sort of upper arm and she says, "Oh, doctor, you're so kind and considerate. Thank you so much."
well, like I said to you before, this is my job. Especially as you're getting married to our Duke, I would not want anything to happen to you, and I want you to be at your best when you get married. That does fall on me, unfortunately. Maybe try this instead. This is it's not necessarily a stronger concoction, however, it tends to work quicker. It's not a slow release like the other vials are. So maybe this will work better for you.
Oh, she says, and just take it with food or water or something.
Yes, you can simply swallow it with water, or you can take it with food. Either one works fine.
Thank you very much, Doctor. If I need some for tomorrow night, can I see you again?
You can, however, this should work fine. Like I said, it tends to work quicker, which means that you sleep for a while, and normally you don't need more for another several days or so.
Oh, that sounds perfect. She says. She walks across the room, looking at the file as she goes, and she puts it on her bedside cabinet.
Obviously, I'm bullshitting at this point, but I'm trying to sell the point that this is better for these reasons and blah blah blah.
Yeah, and she drops it down the bedside cabinet, and she with her back to you, she says, "Doctor, it's really nice to have someone I can trust here in a new place."
I would hope that there were more people here that you can trust. We are quite a welcoming bunch. But of course, I understand what you mean, especially as I'm responsible for your healthcare.
She said, "But our society there's so few people you can trust in our society. But I feel like that I'm really getting to know you, and we're getting a bond going here." She says, "And you are really looking after me."
But entirely professional, of course, you understand.
Oh, of course, she says. Of course, yes. And she gives a little smile when you say that.
I also give a little smile. Well, if that's everything, then I'll be on my way, my lady.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
And I give her a bow and heading out.
So, are you going to report that back to?
Oh yeah. Obviously, I'll just say to them that I've given her the special pill, special tablet, whatever. So if she takes it, we'll know, and if not, we'll know who she gives it to.
Just to answer Steve's question very quickly. No, Phil's doing the best he can. She criticaled. It's just he's Cornish.
What was that? Sorry.
This.
Do you believe I just died?
Oh, dear me.
Natural causes, would you believe?
This is probably a shield laser blast. You in training, you go off.
In the great annals of history, when someone comes up with examples on YouTube and does collates a series of examples of how not to deal with the GM, I wonder how many times we're going to appear.
It's been worse than that.
Catalogue of all the shit I've said. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
that's quite tame, actually.
It is. For a Saturday night game, this is very tame.
I was saying that to Becky earlier.
It's actually been... Well, I mean, to be fair, all the anarchy is happening on the Monday.
Yes, for now.
Poor Giorgio.
Poor Giorgio, yes.
Poor Giorgio.
He got one fight in last week.
Wait till Masks resumes, and then this campaign will just go downhill with the comedy. And
I don't know if it lends itself to that type of game, though, does it really, Dune?
No, it doesn't.
So,
well, I was thinking because of all the backstabbing and intrigue that obviously we're very into it, so we want to kind of, keep momentum going with the story. Maybe that's why we're not doing so many jokes. I don't know.
Take a moment out every now and then to slag the GM off.
Plus,
well, you do, yes.
Plus, I mean, we're talking about anarchy. We do have some controlled chaos with the idea that we are now seriously considering the possibility.
He's given up.
of
He's run away.
Of Phil giving up.
I've just gone off the corner.
We are seriously considering the very real possibility of dealing with this rogue house by nuking them.
Mm.
That's what she thinks.
That's why she's picked that first name.
Not mine, not his. Her idea.
We have to take down House Ordos.
See, poor Phil. We're driving Phil away.
It's terrible. It's all the abuse you get in here.
We're driving him off with talk of nuking.
Bit of traffic here today.
Not that bad. You're not a cop's wife.
True.
Okay, so we're I forgot where we are now. Yeah, so
No, I don't.
doctor's giving her some drugs.
Yes, I've given her a pill.
Darius has told her that her family's turning up. What's next? What do you want to do next? Are you off in the mystery machine off to this other?
The mystery machine. The magic school bus, more like.
I don't know if there's going to be actually. I might be able to get a day's worth of identify a site, but I'm not going to have time to do the whole operation.
Okay, well, you'll know that there's probably communications people at the spaceport, the airfield, and obviously in their central headquarters.
Wait, what?
In the central headquarters, there'll be someone on the airfield.
Yeah.
There'll be someone army, military barracks, and places like that.
Yeah.
You know where to find people.
Oh, right. So I didn't need to build my magic bus.
It depends. I mean, you know that there'll be communications people obviously at the airfield and stuff. Yeah. And obviously there'll be some at their headquarters, like you have in your palace.
Okay.
Magic bus is worth doing anyway.
If you want to pick up what they're saying,
Yeah.
have the guy decode it. Yeah.
Plus, there's always the real possibility, however slight, that in looking for what we're looking for, we might accidentally find something we weren't expecting.
Okay.
That's true.
Well, I'll tell you what then. We're going to go out with the tracker van, which is decalled up like it's the waterboard. And we're going to start digging up roads. Because you may as well go all in and cause some traffic chaos as well. So we'll start digging up roads with our waterboard van whilst we're actually listening. And I'll spend the first I'll spend a couple of days out there with the crew first of all, and then I'll head back.
So you leaving the doctor, you leaving Bertram and Darius back at the palace to start with?
Yeah, for the first couple of days, and then I'm going to turn up back at the palace before the family arrives. So I'm really just sort of, in essence, making sure these guys in the van aren't going to get caught.
Okay, sure.
Training them up and
that's okay.
And sort of running the operation to begin with, so they know what to do.
Yeah, that's fine then. So you can go off and do that. I expect Darius is going to be busy with preparations for the family arriving. I'm
more trying to fob off as much as possible onto other people in case we end up going off world or something. I want to start making sure that security is tight and quarters have been arranged. That there's.
Are you bugging their quarters? Are you bugging their quarters?
Of course we're fucking bugging the quarters. What the fuck? Of course we're fucking bugging the quarters. It will be discreet, but of course we're bugging the course.
Okay. That's good. Okay.
You know, at the very, we might get some good intel. We might get a salacious piece of gossip that might actually be of use to us.
I assume that every room in this build in the palace is actually bugged and just not necessarily enabled, and you have to go onto the master computer that only I control, and the password is password.
No one's going to think of that in this day and age.
Yeah, exactly.
Password is A.
Password 123.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's fine. So you getting all that arranged. Bertram, I don't know if you're doing anything while Atomica's out this initial recce.
Probably not. No, just kind of keeping an eye on the radioactive. What would you call it? Signal.
Yeah.
Activities.
Yeah. Signature. Yeah. You can see it's not moving from her room. It is just pinging away in her room all the time.
Okay.
Atomica, so you can take the battle bus over to Evangelistus territory. Can you roll me some sort of stealth roll?
Surveillance? Oh, stealth roll.
Just to stay incognito?
Okay, let me find stealth.
I mean, you've had plenty of time to prepare this, so...
I don't suppose leadership guerrilla action counts, does it?
That's more combat, I would have thought. It's down the left-hand side there.
I see, stealth. I do have some. Right. And then that's going to be coordination, vex or reaction. Which do you want?
Yeah, they don't seem to fit, do they? Probably reaction, I would have thought, perhaps. It's not really reaction, is it?
I mean,
which is your highest?
Well, reaction.
Okay, we'll go with reaction then. I did say that first off. We'll go with that and give you the best chance.
That is very much a 7. 3 different dice, so that's a 7.
7. So you get there and you can drive around. You don't spend too much time in one place, but you'll park up in different areas you've already identified, and some of the guys will get out and maybe lift a couple of service covers up and put up some barriers and things while you're in the back.
Dig up the road during rush hour. It's like, 2 birds, 1 stone. Let's cause a bit of carnage as well, just for shits and giggles. What's more, it'll get them talking. But we'll just do that the once.
Okay, so where are you going to park outside of?
It's a radio detector van, right? So it's got a bit of range anyway.
Yeah.
But we'll start off by screwing up the rush hour, so a busy road somewhere, just to give everyone a bad day. And then we'll move off to some side roads, and we'll kind of get closer. We'll sort of go a mile around some military base somewhere.
Okay, then. So if you can give me a roll for your say how much you actually do manage to intercept. What are you using for that? Infiltration?
No, surveillance.
Surveillance. Oh yeah, of course, surveillance was that too.
Is that going to be perception or logic? Intellect, logic, or intellect, perception?
I would have thought logic.
Okay. Actually, have that many dice then, but it's a 9. No, it's a 9. 10. It's a 10.
Oh, that's good. That's a mid-challenging roll. So you do intercept quite a lot of chatter. There's obviously quite a bit going on. In not just general stuff either, in the house battle language, so that you don't actually understand it, but you are recording all this information anyway. Then you move places a couple of times, and when you actually towards the airfield, there's an increased chatter on the radio, but there's also a lot of movement and action on the airfield as well.
Ooh.
Okay.
Is this a military-only airfield?
Yes, it is. Yes, this is
Okay.
one of their bases.
I need to get into an ornithopter.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to take all the fuel out the reserve tank.
Okay.
I'm going to put just enough in the main tank to get to that base.
What are you gonna? What are you doing? You taking one from back where you were? Are you back from your city, or
Yeah,
are you gonna hire one?
We'll have to go to my own city because I'm going to nobble the fuel. So I'm actually going to do a Mayday landing here. So what I'm going to do is I take all the fuel out of the reserve tank, but just enough. Actually, no, it doesn't matter with the reserve tank. I'm going to nobble the switch so it won't switch.
Okay.
So it's stuck on the main tank, right? And then I'm going to make sure there's just enough in there to get to that base. And then I am going to plot a route somewhere beyond that base and sort of sketch it all up on the graphs, all that kind of stuff. And then I'm going to fly. And then, as I'm going over that base, I'm going to Mayday, cannot switch my fuel tank, need to emergency land. Permission requested to land at only airfield in range is blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. You can do that. You can get an engineer to rig up something for the switch not to turn over. Can you roll me one of your flight rolls then? See how well you've judged the amount of fuel.
The weird thing is, there isn't really a flying skill, but I do have aerial combat, so I assume I can fly.
Oh, there's no flight one. That's strange.
Well, there's aerial combat, but there isn't a flight per se. So, and you get aerial combat just for taking this class because we use those templates, right? So
yeah. That is
unless it comes under transport.
Could come under transport, I suppose.
There's a transport skill somewhere. Oh, there is.
Getting left hand side, yeah.
The only thing I can
I'm
think
a ship pilot, but I'm brilliant in a dogfight.
Oh, flight.
That's strange.
Emergency landing comes under all ornithopter maneuvers.
Is that a trait underneath?
I can't see a trait. No. Oh, sorry. Yeah, difficulties of a transport piloting tests.
There's a transport piloting. Well, there you go. Yeah. So apparently I can't fly an ornithopter, but I can do aerial combat.
Yeah,
Can't explain it.
That seems a bit wrong. As long as someone takes you up there, you can take over the controls and win the fight.
I just assumed that I could do basic flying stuff.
Right. So here's the thing. Right. If we find ourselves in a situation where Atomica needs to take control of a flying vehicle, we must engage in combat with the nearest thing. That way we know she can fly it.
In the transport section, I do have a bucket ton of dice, even if I've got no bonuses.
Okay.
That's not so bad.
Oh, because I was going to say roll your aerial combat, but if you think you can roll transport, then roll transport.
What we need is a ground-to-air weapon.
Would it be dexterity or reaction? I guess dexterity, isn't it?
This dexterity, yeah. Now, what you're trying to do here is this is for how well you've judged the amount of fuel against your flight time, distance, and weather conditions.
I thought I had engineers with a human computer who worked all this shit out.
They can, but if you get a headwind halfway through the trip.
Oh, I see. I've lost my dice. There it is. All this just so I can fly over a military base and have a look at what's going on. That is a 6 with 1 on the drama die.
Hey.
Okay, so you're successful.
Mm-hmm.
You're successful.
I get there and they deny me permission.
Call back up, please.
You do get there, and you do radio down for permission to land. But as you glance down at your fuel gauge, it is the red light is flashing on and off, and you think your fuel is actually going to be a bit short. You don't know if you can actually make it to the field exactly. And as you come in, you're decreasing a lot of height extremely quickly.
Okay.
and you actually make a crash landing on the airfield.
Mayday, landing in the proximity of.
So you were telling the truth.
Can I shoot the gun just before I land so that it becomes combat?
I don't mind if you want to roll combat, because you will be using some sort of combat skills for a crash landing.
It's just
Sorry,
reaction.
I didn't mean to shoot the gun. I was trying to find the ejector seat.
So yeah, you crash land on the edge of the airfield. But how do you take it there? Who do another flight roll?
Flight or that you mentioned a moment ago.
You can do combat if you want.
Combat maneuver, yeah. I would prefer to do that. I have more dice. Would you say this is coordination dex or coordination reaction? I'd say
reaction.
I would say it was reaction.
Yeah. Okay. That is 11.
11. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. So
I'm really good in a dogfight.
You do. I mean, apart from your reserve tank, you're out of fuel, so you haven't got masses of fuel on board anyway. But you do fall pretty heavily onto the edge of the field, and you do get. Let me see, where are we to? You do get 1 point of injury out of that. So your healthy is down by 1 point. But you do manage to kick the door open under your belt and sort of stagger out onto the grass. But you are cut and bleeding a little bit as fire trucks, ground cars come over, fire truck ground cars come over, and soldiers are running up. They've got las guns out and they start pointing down at you and start shouting.
Okay, but I'm looking around to see what they've got going on here.
Okay, and start spraying foam over the thing just in case. In case it.
That was perfectly. It was a dodgy switch on the fuel tank. Seriously.
Well, we'll have to
be days of cleaning, which your techs will have to do.
We'll have to investigate that. It's about time you better get into the vehicle, and we'll take you back to the command post and interrogate you.
Fine.
Are you in uniform?
Yes.
You are in uniform. So they say. So what is a House Savona pilot doing over our airspace?
Oh, let me just go get my flight path from the sodden foam, and I'll show you. Because like I said beforehand, I was picking a suitable thing that made sense. We didn't stop to discuss what it was, but I would have come up with something. So,
and you can see they're bringing a truck over as well, so they're going to pick your ornithopter up and haul that back as well.
See, somewhere underneath these soap suds, you'll see my flight path. There you go.
Okay, well,
we'll take two with the bloody fuel tank switched.
We'll take that back as well, and we'll have a look at exactly what you were doing. So you get into the back of this truck with like 4 or 5 armed guards. And they've got las guns on you, and before you get in, they'll pat you down and take any weapons you've got off of you.
Sure, I've got loads.
So it's one of those where you're just taking out another one and another one and another one and another one.
I mean, yeah. Are they taking the shield off me?
They will take a shield off you as well, yeah.
Oh, cheeky.
And they load you in the back of the wagon, and they've got las guns on you, because they don't want you to have a shield if they've got las guns on you. So they've got las guns on you as they drive back to the command post. And it's an open back truck. There's no sides or anything like that. So as you go through, you can look around and see what you want to see. Okay. And to you, for your military experience, it does look like you're amassing quite a few troops here. And there are ornithopters lined up beside the runway, like ready to take off. All military ornithopters ready to go.
They look fueled up, or they're high on their landing stilts?
Yeah, they look pretty fueled up. Yeah, they're not. They're
geared up with like las guns and missiles and things like that on the wings.
There's no missiles or anything, but there is mountains for them. Yes.
Mm-hmm. What you got going on here, then? I say innocently.
that's none of your business. Just keep your eyes forward and don't pay any attention.
Kind of is my business. Do you know who I am? Here comes
No.
the Karen moment.
You're a Shavona spy, I suppose, but
Not a spy, no.
not a very good landing, though, was it?
That was an excellent landing for not having any fuel. Thank you very much.
Yeah, right. If that's
I
some
mean, it
excuse.
technically was.
Some excuse. I suppose at least you walked away from it. And they pull up outside the building and they jump down and say, "Come on, inside."
Okay.
The lieutenant will want to talk
I
to you.
need somebody more senior than that, please.
You just talk to him to start with.
You're dealing with an officer.
We're dealing with someone in an officer's uniform.
Oh.
In you go.
If you were worthy of dueling, you'd be dead right now. I'll go in.
Okay, so they take you into a small room. It's a typical interrogation room with a metal table and then 2 chairs, and they plonk you down in one of the chairs, and they leave you in a room alone. A few minutes later, the door opens and a fairly young lieutenant comes in and sits down opposite you and says, "Right, who are you then?" He takes out a notepad and
General Atomica Heilemann.
General.
Yes.
He writes it down. He goes, "If you wait a minute, I'll be back in a second," and he leaves again. And then he comes back with another man, and they've obviously looked up. They've got some extra paperwork with them now, and the guy walks in through the door and he says, "Hello." He says, I am Colonel Basha. Colonel Basha Thumba. He said, "You appear to be a General Atomica Harriman. What are you doing here?"
I had technical issues on my ornithopter and had to make an emergency landing.
So we'll have to reserve judgment on that until we have a look at the vehicle. But it's lucky you are an ally. Otherwise, we have some very nasty ways of dealing with spies.
I honestly didn't have time to look before I picked the airfield. It was the only one in range. I didn't care that it was a military base. Didn't expect to see quite so much military here, though.
There's an exercise when he says we like to keep tip-top, ready to go.
Who's the exercise against, I ask.
Oh, nobody. It's just an exercise, just a readiness exercise.
That doesn't make sense. You'd need an opposing force of equal number. You appear to have everything here.
Oh well, we've got some another airfield. We'll be going against them in a couple of days.
So this is half your force.
Well, not necessarily half. No, I mean, I'm not going to tell you that anyway. But just because we're allies is not going to give away everything, he says. But if you can wait here for a few minutes, we'll have to get someone to look at your ornithopter, and then we can maybe get you transported back to Mazine. Can we get you anything to drink or eat?
Yes, whiskey, please. Well, I'm not flying now.
No, you won't be going anywhere in that one for a long time. And he'll go, and then the lieutenant will come back with a maybe a third full bottle of whiskey in a glass, and put that on the table. He'll go, unless you want to say anything to him.
Come, stick around. Let's have a drink. I swig from the bottle and pass it to him.
Oh, he'll take it and he'll take a drink. He says, they'll have you underway in no time. They're just having a quick look once over the ornithopter.
We should do an exercise between our houses at some point. Get a bit of training from the outside. Always helps improve the versatility of your troops.
Yeah, that might be an option. It'd be interesting to see how someone at another house operates up close.
It's been a while since we've actually had any real action, unfortunately. I mean, probably 7-8 months now.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the emperor wants anything done, he generally gets the Sardaukar to do it. It doesn't involve the minor houses too much.
I know. And the Sardaukar are so soft these days.
Sardaukar, they're crack troops.
Well, they would be, but relaxing on a planet like this, it's hardly the upbringing they were that earned them the reputation, is it?
Well, they have a fearsome reputation. I mean, everyone fears the Sardaukar.
Earned when they were brought up in a harsh climate. It was unrelenting and unforgiving, and now they all just sit on the beach.
Just sit on the beach.
That's why we regularly beat up a minor house, one of the small up and comings, and keep them crushed. If you don't have regular combat, then your troops will just become rookies.
Well, that's why we're doing this exercise.
Exercises just aren't as good as the real thing.
And
do you not regularly fight the minor lords and nobles and stuff just to keep them in their place?
Well, I mean, everything is pretty controlled. We don't. It's not really much of a fight. I mean, it's more controlling. It's more tackling rabble than actual proper combat.
So you're not really experienced at fighting a more organized force, then?
I've not been in a fight myself. He says, no. I'm relatively new. This is only going to be my third exercise.
Right. Well, good luck.
And the door will open, and someone will talk to the lieutenant, and he'll turn around and say, "Well, apparently there was a technical issue with your ornithopter."
That's what I said. Yes.
I'd get your maintenance guys to be a bit more careful.
Well, yes, quite. So how many ornithopters are here? I want to just sort of assess what I've seen, and is it all kind of, there's no sort of surprise vehicles or anything, some secret.
What you can see is you can see some sort of you can see probably 30 small, like one-man ornithopters, and there's a couple of large. There's probably maybe 10 or 15 further away, large, like troop-carrying ornithopters.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to guess that's sort of comparable to our Air Force, is it, or something, or is that?
Yeah, it's a lot of ornithopters to have already all one go, really. Yeah, and there's a lot of troops around as well. There's a lot of troops like parading, drilling out on the airfield.
Could I get a rough idea of numbers in comparison to our own house?
You think they are pretty comparable, if not maybe have a little bit of an edge over the number of troops you've got, especially if this is only one airfield. If you double it with if they had another potentially same size force somewhere else, they'd have more than you.
Okay. Now we know what we're up against.
So they'll take you to the gate, and they've arranged a grain car for you, and that will take you back to the commercial spaceport, where you can catch an ornithopter back to Mezzine.
Okay.
Meanwhile, we've been gone. Darius, you go to the spaceport to welcome Scylla's family and show them back to the palace.
Please.
Oh, thank you. You must be. This is the guy you met before. You must be that Darius I met earlier to arrange for the wedding.
Yes, indeed.
And my daughter as well, I hope.
She is doing very well. She's eager to see you.
Oh, good. I'm looking forward to seeing her. He says, "This is my wife.
I am charmed.
Lady Gala.
My lady.
Do you arrange transport for us? How long will it be before we get to the palace?
Give them a rough. Give them a rough estimation.
Okay, and you can jump in the car, and you're probably pointing out landmarks and stuff as you drive back.
I mean, we're going by the fastest route rather than the scenic, mostly because they did express some interest in wanting to see the sites, so I'm specifically not showing them the sites now, because what's the point of showing them now when they can have a nice day of seeing the sites tomorrow or the next day or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Why spoil the surprise?
Okay. He says, before you get in the car, he says, I hope you've arranged a decent transport for my staff. He says, I brought 4 or 5 people with me.
Look them up and down very quickly. Get a sense of them. Do this look like sort of butlers and maids, or are we looking at security?
There's probably a couple of bodyguards, a couple of maids, and a doctor.
Oh.
Of course, we have transport here.
Yeah, I mean, basically, who you are at the airport, you could just arrange anything there on the spot, really. And you can get them taken back, you arrive at the palace with this lord and lady and their entourage. Do you want to take a break there for 5 minutes and have a fag and a drink?
Sure thing.
Okay.
Yes.
See you in a sec.
See you soon.
Catch up on the private chat as well.
Hello, I am back. I appear to be the only one back. Hello. So that fuel tank cruise was actually based on a true story. It happened to my dad many years ago, because he before I was born used to fly light aircraft, and he was flying one time and could not switch his fuel tank. It just wouldn't switch. So he had to look at the map. So the only place in range was a military base. So he was like, Mayday, Mayday, requesting permission to land at this base. And they were like, permission denied, you will not land here. And he says, no, Mayday, Mayday, I am landing here. It's up to you whether you grant me permission. And so he goes into land, and they treated it like a drill, basically, for all their emergency crews. So the whole runway was just lined up with these fire engines and emergency vehicles all the way down. It all kind of like rushing out as he's landing. He's like, fuck, I hope I don't screw this up. But yeah, that's where I got the idea from.
I was I remember watching it was one of those it wasn't Mythbusters, but it was something similar, sort of tricks of the trade. And they were talking about crashes in movies, where cars crash and they explode, and pyrotechnics and everything else. And they said the thing about exploding cars is that cars only explode, vehicles only explode if there's no petrol in the tank.
Yeah, because it's the vapor
that. So when you were going in and he said you put a hard landing, I'm like, oh god. Just going to go bang, boom.
Yeah, well, there's nothing much more explosive as well than aviation fuel. I meant to say to you, actually, on the way out, you did see a building with aerials and dishes and stuff all over the top of it.
Yeah.
In the sky.
Tower.
So you get back. You arrive at the. You get back to the palace and show your guests to the rooms, and you say that perhaps the Duke will be happy to meet them when they're refreshed.
Yes.
And they said, "Oh, thank you. When can we meet our daughter?"
Well, I thought you would want to rest, perhaps bathe after your journey. What time is it now?
It's just after mid-afternoon.
Well, we will be having a late luncheon at 2:00. If you'd like to come down, that'd be a nice chance you'll be able to see your daughter and meet the Duke as well.
Oh, thank you very much. That'll be very kind of you. Will someone come and get us, or do we do?
I will do so myself.
Thank you. If you could just let our staff know that the meal is at that time as well.
I will pass the word.
Okay. The two bodyguards are with you, and they sort of station themselves outside their door.
Yep, that's not a problem. I head to the dining area. I do inform the Duke that his small luncheon with his bride-to-be is going to be with bride-to-be and family. I then ensure that there's enough kitchen staff and waiting staff for the extra people, and the fact that I'm about to double security.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, is that doubled? Is that a relief from the triple we were already on?
That's double. I'm doubling the triple. I'm sextupling it.
Damn it. No more time off.
Yeah, so
just all round.
yeah, Atomica will still be traveling back from her escapades in the ornithopter.
At the appropriate time, I will go and go back to the family.
Mm-hmm.
I am here to escort you to lunch.
Very good of you. If you'd like to walk on.
Please follow me.
And they'll follow behind you with their two guards behind them.
Yeah.
And
in answer to Bertram's question, I'm still trying to determine whether they are on vast quantities of drugs, let alone knowing about them.
True.
Obviously, of course, there will be detectors. Security will be heightened. If these guys have a weapon on them at all, other than personal small arms, then
you've got guards stationed regular sort of intervals down all the corridors between here and there.
Yes, and the dining room, whilst there's only going to be a small handful of people at the table, it's going to feel maybe a tad crowded.
Yes. Are you having guards in the dining room during lunch?
Fucking right, I am.
Yeah. Okay.
That's just. Yeah. No. Right. We're leaving the wife the bride we think might be wanting to kill him, and the family that she might want to kill instead, or might want to help in killing our Duke. We're not leaving them alone.
Oh, right.
Ever.
You think this girl's a right psychopath, really, then, do you?
Ever. There's going to be guards under their bed while they make love.
Wow.
They will not have any rest at all.
That'd be a tight squeeze.
Well, in that case, then, security is so high. Are you going to have Burton there to okay the food instead of relying on the automated systems, or?
Yeah, I'd like that level. Snooper? I'd like that extra level of protection.
Okay, so as you walk into the dining hall, Burton is standing there near the Duke. There's guards lining the far wall, all in dress uniform or las guns, just at attention. And the Duke says, "Oh, my dear friends, please come in. Very pleased to see you. This is such a wonderful day in a union of our houses."
I make the formal introductions.
It's very pleased to meet you, he says. Your man here seems to be very, very capable in his role. And he looks at Darius. "Thank you very much, Mr. Wardson. That is, you've been a fine guide so far."
My honor, sir. Please.
And yes, and everyone. He starts walking towards the table to sit down.
I will not be sitting with them. This is meant to be the family gets together meal thing. So I'm not going to be hovering.
Your Duke says to you, "Darius, Scylla's not here. Could you please go and get her and make sure she's okay and bring her down to meal?"
At once, my lord.
Okay, so you go off.
Right, let's go get her.
I mean, I won't ever kind of actively shove my way in, but I'm hoping that she will want me to sit near her for medical reasons.
Right, okay, yeah.
So if so, then absolutely, I'll be right on there and on her table.
It's quite a long table, but obviously it's been made smaller because there's not a full banquet going on. But the Duke sits at one end with the parents on either side of him, and the bride to be is at the far end from the Duke. And yeah, there's you can sit next to her there actually.
Yeah.
I obviously get the go ahead from the Duke. If you'll allow me, my lord.
Certainly, he says it'd be interesting to have some conversation of a scientific kind here. He says Bertram is very knowledgeable on many subjects.
If I can see the other doctor, I'll give them a nod as well.
Yes, the other doctor will turn up. The hand with one of the handmaidens who start fussing around the lady.
I wasn't sure if they were like seated, sort of thing.
And yeah, they are. The Lord sat down. He sat down and he started drinking. And the other doctor will come in and he'll bow and get introduced. And as the food comes in, you're both expected to do your scanning of the food.
The scanning of the food.
Traditional scanning of the food.
As is tradition.
Darius, you reach Silla's room. And come in. Oh, Darius.
I know that originally it was our intention that you had a small quiet luncheon with the Duke this afternoon. Well, surprise, surprise. We've had, sorry, I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist.
Yes.
Your family will also be in attendance. I couldn't resist.
Oh, she said that'll be very interesting. Thank you. I'm sorry I've taken a bit of time to get ready.
No, please. They are awaiting you most eagerly.
Oh, certainly, she says. I'll just pick up my bag, and she'll go over and she'll pick up a little cloth bag from her nightstand. And she says, "Right, I'm ready to go." And she'll hold out her arm for you to lead her down the hall.
Yep. Do I escort her? Yes, I'm aware, but I'm hoping Bertram's going to be right there.
Is it some of that paper money in there?
Yeah, you get to the hall and everyone's sort of like already seated, and your Duke sort of stands up because, "Oh, my lady, please," and he indicates the end of the table, and Darius will lead her over and sit her down.
I said, "Oh, a doctor, a small, I need a small medical consult on my behalf. I have a small tickle in my throat. Sort of nudging him, so we're sort of speaking out of earshot.
Yes, I can have a look.
She's brought down a small bag with her. I didn't feel it was behoove of me to actually inspect its contents. However, I'm sure you'll be able to find some way to broach the subject.
Is it a different bag to anything that we've seen so far, Phil?
Yeah, it's just a cloth bag that matches the same colour as her dress, same material and same colour as her dress. So it's not what we've seen before.
That it may be, but yeah, we've not seen it on the ship before, no. For example, when she was sleeping. No. Are we talking like a purse?
Yeah, very small, just a little thing, not very big.
Okay.
And she'll go over and she'll sit down and she'll put it beside her on the table.
Yeah. Question: with this pill that I've given her, how exactly do I monitor where it's gone?
You'll have a little like monitor just with a screen on that'll show you sort of distance and.
How big is it? Like, if say I got it out right now, would it be really obvious?
Calculator sort of size.
Okay.
To stop it, Ronnie.
Are we talking like little tiny Casio, or more like a graphic calculator?
Yeah, more like a scientific
graphic. Yeah. Okay.
But you are getting stuff out now to monitor the food as it comes in.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. In that case, yeah. What I'll probably do a bit later is try and do it under the table. But yeah, for the moment, I'll go around and scan the food.
Okay.
You can
Calm
scan
it
the
down,
Sorry,
Barney.
the isotope
That's just
scanner
one
and
of those wonderfully innocuous statements. If I get it out, will it be obvious?
You are so immature.
why not scan the food with it?
I didn't think that was possible.
Well, scan.
Oh, I see what you. I see. Right. Yes. Yes. Right. Okay.
Scan the bag with it.
Are you getting are you doing that one and your normal scanner?
Well, okay. I imagine that all the fancy officials and so on will not be interested in me scanning the food as I'm doing it. So what I'll try and do is use the isotope scanner as like my main scanner, and then when they're not looking, I'll quickly nip out my main, poison
Snooper, yeah.
thing. Snooper, yes, that's right, and then just quickly do it, and
Okay.
then get the actual reading.
Do you want to give me an equipment roll on your isotope
Yes.
tracker?
Yes, I can. I'm assuming it's still devices, yes. Is it devices?
Oh, is it devices? I thought it was equipment you were using.
Yeah, but there's a subsection that's or
Oh, okay,
subskill
yeah, sorry, yeah.
devices. Yes. Okay. Wait, is it? Actually, no, it doesn't matter.
Which one are you rolling for? Is it isotope or the poison snooper?
The isotope.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so nothing crazy on the drama die, and I've got 6 on the main die. So what's the? That is a 9.
Okay. Oh, nine's good. So you do get a reading, but it's a faint reading.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that the isotope is in the room.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it in the building, or can I
Oh
not
yes,
tell?
it's still certainly here. Yeah, it's still certainly in the building.
Okay, but not down here. Okay.
Not down here. And as you're doing that, the other doctor is using his poison soup on the food as it comes past him. And you go, oh, I haven't seen one of those before. New model.
Yes. It's something commissioned by my own house. It scans a few different variables and things like that. I'm testing this at the moment. It's not a fully patented model, so they've told me to try this first and then use my other one just to sort of compare readings.
Oh, very interesting, he says. I'll have to look at that later. And he carries on what he's doing. But you don't find anything wrong, neither you or him find anything actually wrong with the food.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Which you wouldn't think being your kitchen, you wouldn't expect to.
No, exactly. Okay, when I'm done,
There are times we try to poison someone.
Apart from us. Okay, I give like a signal to Darius to basically say it's all fine.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
if I can get near him and just whisper, the pill is not down here, then I will. But if not, then I'll just say everything's fine.
Yeah, you can pass it, get my message somehow. And you go over and you sit next to Scylla, and you sit down on the side.
Okay.
You can sit, because you're sitting alternately down the table. There's a space left down next to her at her end of the table, and as you sit down, you're actually sitting on the same side as her back, and she won't actually move it from one side to the other. Okay, and the meal commences.
Do you mean as in she's just kind of pushing it back and forth or something? This back, like she's sort of fiddling with it with her feet?
No, it was on the table next to her, and as you sat down on the right hand side, she moved it.
Oh, she just moved. Oh, right. Okay, got it.
And she says, "Oh, doctor, so we seem to be sitting together."
Yes, yes. The Duke very kindly let me sit here. He's quite keen to, like we did on the ship, to check that everything is in order with everyone's food, and it
Oh,
just
of
seemed to be
course.
fine.
But certainly, Doctor, yes, I'm happy to have a conversation with you.
Absolutely.
Where is Darius sitting down for the meal or not now?
No, Darius.
You know,
Darius is extremely busy with other things. More importantly, uh, there are plenty of people there, and the doctor is there, and I've got a feeling too many cooks and all of that. So I'm going to go off and do my own thing.
the two doctors will sit opposite each other at that end of the table as well. Then,
Okay.
yeah, and that's obviously another suit school doctor as well.
Yeah.
That's on the other side.
Plus, I'm going to get a head start on the paperwork I'm going to be doing once Atomica gets back. I want to get a few pages into it.
Well, you're down in ornithopter already, so
We'll get it back. Just needs a bit of reworking. Vital military intelligence.
No, I no doubt have. I will no doubt have duties. You know,
yeah.
I'm not going to be. I won't be someone who hangs around the house all day doing nothing. I mean, there will be duties to perform.
What are you suggesting?
Yes, some people got it easy.
No, I'm just saying that it might seem at some level that Darius doesn't actually do a lot because he's not a member of security. He's not a doctor. He's, you know, a lot of his stuff is happening behind the scenes in offices.
I see.
You know, you guys, security officer is always going to look like they're busy because there's always something on. The doctors always got patients or dealing with medicines and so on. My stuff happens in little offices and back rooms and deals and so on. It's just
so there's a pleasant conversation commences, and the girl's father says, "Oh, this is a very pleasant city," she says, and the drive in was very nice. You have a very temperate climate. He looks down the table at his daughter, says, "Scylla, how are you finding it here?" And she says, "Oh, everyone's been very, very nice and friendly and kind, looking after me," as she says, and she looks at the doctor and smiles. And she says, "We're certainly looking forward to the wedding." And her father says, "Oh yes, looking at your Duke at the wedding. I understand you've some clever fellows arranged for the Emperor to attend." And he says, "Yes, it's going to be quite a high profile. I was very excited. The Emperor will be at the wedding. It's obviously going to be quite a lavish affair."
Nothing.
See. When I hear myself being referred to as that clever fellow, I just take the compliment and go with it.
He says, "Yeah, we will have to obviously arrange the date more dependent on the royal house than what we would like. Obviously, when they can fit it in around the Emperor's schedule, if we want him there, obviously. So I'll get Darius working that out, and we'll get a few dates to talk about over this next week." And they have a pleasant conversation, and the Scylla actually mentions that she says there was some eventful happenings on the ship on the way over from 1H9. She says there was a murder actually on our deck, which surprises everybody. A murder on the on a guild ship is quite a big deal. And that's a center for discussion for a while, but eventually the meal sort of comes to an end, and it's gone very pleasantly. It's been mostly small talk, and And the Duke says, "Would anyone like a turn around the gardens?" To which Scylla says, "Yes, I will. I will have a turn. That'd be very enjoyable after a meal." And she takes him by the arm, and they lead the couples off out into the garden, followed by her family's bodyguards. The doctor, the other suit doctor, says, "Oh," he says, "they're not going to need me for a few minutes. I'm going to I get some rest." He says.
Yes, I imagine your journey's been long.
Yes, he says, I don't travel well. He says, I try to avoid it if I can. It's not my favorite thing, space travel.
No, even the most constitutional person suffers all sorts with space travel.
Yeah. So he says, I'll be going back to my quarters if I can take my leave. And you see him follow the lady's maid out of the room. And then sort of around this sort of time, Atomica makes it back to the palace.
Question.
Aye.
Has what's the name taken her purse with her on this walk?
She has taken her purse with her, yes.
Okay. Okay.
So, Atomica, you make it back.
Triple all security.
Triple security.
I am actually going to head straight initially to my security office to initially just give the order to cancel all leave. And then I'm going to find out where the Duke is, and then obviously find out he's in the garden.
Yeah.
And
okay,
then
so
head on over to the
do
garden and then see he's busy and be like, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be in the garden probably for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours tops, really, and just having a quiet stroll and a pleasant chat between them, 4 of them.
Right, Darius, Bertim, and the computer guy then.
No, I didn't go on the walk.
I know. I'm going to call a meeting.
Call a meeting. What you do see, though, in the garden is the 2 couples. Then you see the other people's bodyguards, and your guards are sort of standing around the walls guarding. They're not close guarding. It's up to you if you want to change that or not. But
I don't want their guards closer to the Duke than ours are at any time.
Currently they are, but they're just walking maybe 3 or 4 steps behind the group at the moment.
Then I will signal to some guards to sort that out.
Mm-hmm.
Your guards, that's a threat. Do
Okay,
your fucking job.
Well, you're obviously not around to watch them, so they've got a bit lax. You see them.
8 lashes. No.
Wow.
Not really.
It's turning you into a pirate ship.
There'll be tea hauling.
So yeah, you see them rush around, and quite shortly, there's 4 of your house guards walking on each corner of them as they walk around, but you're away from a little bit. But yeah, you're quite happy with that situation. So you call your meeting, and you're calling in Darius, Bertim, and computer guy. Oh, the Thufir, the Mantat.
Thufir, yeah.
Yes, you do that. Yeah, you make a report.
Yes. So, house. What was that house called? The other mine.
Evangelista.
Evangelista.
The minor
preparing for some kind of military operation. They number this many ornithopters, this many men, this many large transport ornithopters. That's a concern because that was just what I saw at X Air Base, and apparently they also have Y Air Base too.
Thufir says that is extremely concerning.
And we
Since-
have X Ornithopters -1 now, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, we needed that one. They could have turned the title about.
We'll get it back.
He says, yeah, that is extremely strange. We've had no indications that there's a military threat from another minor house on Kaitan.
We've got I put a radio monitoring van in the city. There's a lot of chatter around that airbase.
Have you left it there? Is it still monitoring? Okay. Obviously, we're going to have to try and, if you can get the information back, we can see if we can break the code.
You just have to send a car twice a day to liaise with them, because we're not going to transmit.
No, that's sensible. Yeah, do it as a courier. Bring the recordings back. Okay, we'll set something up we'll set our best code breakers up to investigate that. When you say a lot of chatter, more than normal, obviously.
Yeah, well, you described that, didn't you? So yeah, it was a lot, wasn't it?
It was a lot, yeah. So okay, so yeah, we can do that. Do you think? What do you think the target is? Is it us? Is that what you're saying?
Who else would they attack? They're not going to attack the Emperor, and there's far too much force there to attack anyone else other than us unless they're going off world. And that is a force sufficient to take us on. Like if you were going to kick on the door of some minor house, that's too much force in one place. So unless they're going off world, they're coming for us. So given that they are allies of House or working with House Ordos, and they're looking,
because obviously they actually are aligned with House Carino, the same as you are.
Yes,
that is new information that they've been sort of subverted into House Ordos or helping House Ordos for some reason.
Yeah. So for whatever string House Ordos is pulling, they've obviously pulled it pretty tight. And if House Ordos are looking to replace the Emperor, then surely House Ordos are going to throw everything they've got at that Sardaukar. So how to deal with us as the other significant threat? Well, not significant, but not insignificant threat. That's what they're going to use them for, House Angelinos. So, yeah, we're the only target.
Okay, so I think what we need to do is you need to identify the link between House Ordos and House Evangelista, and if possible, the plan, obviously, but you need to certainly identify, you need to get some proof of that link.
What did we get from the radio thing?
I was going to say that's my first question.
Yeah, you just got to mention, didn't you, that was it the guy you captured? I think it was the guy you captured, wasn't it? You mentioned House Ordos.
Yeah, we interrogated the guy, so we have a witness in our cells.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's right. He's going cold turkey.
Yeah, because we got that out of him for interrogation, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was you, Burton.
Both of us, basically. Yeah.
I think I was more there. I think you did the work. So yeah, we have a witness. That's it.
Oh yeah, I went really creepy with him. I remember.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, obviously, that is a good start, but we need something a bit more solid than a man's word. We could have, I think, we could have brainwashed him or something into saying that. We need solid evidence. We need some indication, something we can go to the Emperor with and present this case.
That assumes we're going to tell the Emperor about this, right? We need evidence to tell the Emperor. to accuse
I
them
think-
publicly.
Well, I think seeing we're going to get so closely aligned with the Emperor after this marriage, I think we do need to involve the Emperor.
Well,
I don't know, a war on his imperial planet wouldn't go down particularly well, I don't think.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Between two houses, I mean, he
Well-
would at least want to be involved, informed that what's happening, and if we can provide evidence, he might be able to step in. Who knows? I mean, we might even get their holdings if the plot is against the Emperor.
Right. So yes, but also we don't know when. So we also need to make military planning for assuming that the invasion happens. Oh,
Right, Ronnie,
do we have a bunker?
do you have a bunker? Yeah, I'm sure you have a bunker.
Bound to have.
Awesome.
Bound to have.
This way, Ronnie wanted some history books about Ordos to
Yes.
learn some stuff. Okay, I'm just putting that in the chat there for what you can.
Ooh.
Yeah, you've got a bunker. If you want a bunker, you've got a bunker. Well, you'll have a bunker underneath the palace, at least, if not somewhere else as well. There'll be bunkers on the airfield, different levels underground.
See, I have a plan for if the invasion happens. You won't like it.
Oh no.
You're going to destroy this planet as well.
Yep, you're gonna nuke us from orbit.
No, I'm going to nuke.
It's the
No,
only way to
well,
be sure.
Now, here's the thing. If we can get everything valuable out of here, and as many people as we can,
Oh, a mass evacuation.
we nuke ourselves and then blame it on them.
So we have a bazillion refugees to deal with.
Some will die, but we blame it on them.
Well, you were absolutely correct. I won't like it. I can see that there might be a few slight flaws in the plan. The biggest flaw is, well, we'd have to do some serious. I don't know if we've got the time. If we think this attack is imminent, and I think we're on the clock, I don't think we've got the time to work out all the possible logistics to pull that particular stunt off.
I didn't copy all of that, actually.
Propaganda. We get people to dig their own bunkers.
Bunkers for...
America did it. Why can't we?
Yeah. So, can you kiss
Plot twist.
cunning
Right.
plan?
When
You've got
yeah,
plans
when
plan, my
Becky
lord.
said she was going to nuke somebody at some point during the scenario, I didn't think we were on the menu. I didn't think we'd
No.
make the list.
No.
Right. So, okay, having read that little bit in the chat about House Ordos, they are absolutely laser focused on wealth.
Quite literally.
Power is a means to attain wealth, not the other way around for them. You know, they don't get money to get power, they get power to get money.
Hmm.
Yeah, I must have hit a word limit or a character limit in the first one because I've just finished off the stuff to paste.
And everything they do is based on that. I mean, it said, you know, their military. Did you wander into a corporation game? We're veering into the stratosphere of one.
Atomica is determined to nuke something at some point.
Yep.
They rely mostly on mercenaries. I have a feeling that mercenary has now been sort of usurped in a way by this house.
Yep.
House has mercenaries, yeah.
Yeah. But that leaves an interesting possibility. How would have they been hired with promise of wealth, fame, more power, all the rest of it, or are they being literally paid as mercenaries? Because if it's the former, then we've got more work to do, because prying these two houses apart is going to be more difficult. If it's the latter, if it's merely money that's lubricating their alliance, then all we've got to do is find some way of stopping the flow. I don't think that's going to help short term, but it could help long term. Because from everything I've read, mercenaries tend to desert them often, really, really often. So they're not loyal to them. They're not loyal to the people they hire. They don't engender any sort of loyalty whatsoever. That's an in. Not much of one, but it's an in. However, I do believe we are going to have to make preparations for some sort of defense. Because as much as me playing follow the money, I don't think that's going to happen anywhere near fast enough.
Well, we are insufficiently numbered to defend ourselves unless we can use that dowry to enhance our military.
You know that if you can present evidence to the Emperor, obviously you'd have Salikar on your side.
There's that, yes. But there are two prongs here: defense and sort the issue. So just on the topic of defense, I genuinely think our best bet is to prepare for a self-nuke. Prepare the populace. Genuinely. Because otherwise we're fighting a losing battle. We don't have the numbers, right? So we have to swing the battle around with something incredible. So that's genuine. But on the other topic, why don't we put feelers out to House Ordos to say we're looking to flex some military muscles?
Well, you're trying to pick up some of their mercenaries.
No, to become a mercenary.
We're looking to flex some military muscles. Do you have any recommended protein shakes?
You don't want that to get out to the Emperor, because that would really.
No, but we could meet them in secret, discuss terms and stuff, but more to the point, use that as an opportunity.
More appealing than nuking ourselves, right?
No, right. The fact that we might have to come up with some grand gesture as a point of last resort, I absolutely agree with. Actually, I'm not sure nuking is maybe that last resort, but something big.
Look, my point is, if we prepare for it now, the population can all have bunkers. We nuke ourselves, we blame it on them, we've got our evidence.
Because I didn't know, you said you wanted to become, you wanted to talk to House Ordos. I didn't know if you wanted to pick up one of their, try and employ some of their mercenaries or something.
Well, I'm thinking if we look, House Ordos have employed House Angelinos, right, according to our intelligence, which means they're looking for minor houses. They're looking to usurp the Emperor. If we met them in secret, we could position. We could be a prime position for Ordos to arrive. Did I notice, incidentally, when I went through that airbase, they were definitely House Angelinos troops, right? They weren't House Ordos.
Okay, can you do me a roll for that? Do an observation or infiltration or something like that, subterfuge. I was going to say. Oh, and in the meantime, can Darius get a press release out to the public, putting it on his Tory number 10 spin doctor hat, and tell the public why it's a good reason they're building nuclear bunkers in their gardens.
I would hope that Darius was not that way inclined.
I've got 2 words for you. Malcolm Tucker.
Preparedness is the Slavona spirit. Right, it was 10 with 6 on the drama die.
Oh, that's pretty good. 10's good. You did then most of the troops. You think that the troops you saw were actually evangelistas, but now you think back, now you consider it, you possibly saw maybe a couple of Ordos people on the airfield. Not masses, just soldiers. Well, advisors.
Right, so officers.
Yeah.
Or special forces.
Yeah, that sort of thing. So just the different skin colouring, wearing Evangelistas uniform, but obviously were from a different planet.
All right. Well, there you go. So that's something else for the mix in terms of evidence. So that confirms our suspicions for our sake. Probably not enough for the Emperor, though.
No.
What if we could capture one of those Ordos people when they leave base?
It is a possibility. You might be able to do that. Obviously, yeah, they would know he's missing in fairly short order.
I would love to get some spies into Ordos because I would love to know who the money men are. Somebody's paying the bills.
So the 2 ways I can think of is to try and nab an Ordos soldier, or to try and become a mercenary for Ordos on the sly in order to find out about them that way.
Ordos come from Signa Draconis 4. But you probably...
Sorry.
I was going to say they probably have some sort of embassy or mission at the Imperial Palace on this planet. There'll be some at the Landsrad. You could see them there, or you could go to Sigma Draconis 4.
I would agree with snatching a soldier. I'd like to get a high-ranked one if possible. The higher the rank, the more likely they are to know where the money is.
We could try and nab someone in the capital.
Yeah, we need to get an officer. You know, someone who actually knows where the orders are coming from. Some grunt on the ground isn't going to know fuck all.
Yeah. So the problem is, if we do it in the capital, we have to do it under the noses of the Sadoka.
Yes, Steve, I had considered that.
What was that? What Steve said?
Intel just in. House Ordos has an agent within your house looking to set up and execute a nuclear attack.
Well, how about that?
Clever. We don't have to attack. Atomic is going to blow us up anyway. So yeah, whatever your plan is, you can obviously pinch one. You try and get one from where Atomic has just been, or actually in the Imperial capital.
Yeah, either.
We could try and get a diplomat from the capital, but I mean, there's risk.
It's diplomat would be good, but the amount of paperwork.
Who's worried about
well, no. What I mean is that's a diplomatic incident right there and then. We actually cause problems that way.
They won't be seen until they're handed over to the Emperor.
Yeah. I'd like to get two. Let's get a diplomat and one diplomat and one high-ranking officer from Evangelista.
Evangelista,
Sorry.
not Ordos. Ordos.
Well, they're getting
an
the thing is,
at House Angelina.
Yeah.
What he meant.
Either way, what we want to know is where the money's coming from. Now, you can either ask the people who are paying or the people getting paid.
Well,
you know, either way, you know, you either ask one house or the other. One of them's paying, the other one's getting paid. Somewhere got to know where the money is.
At the moment, but maybe there's another solution.
Who are you going to
nuke? Told you, it's us.
So is this the find? Yeah.
But no, like there's what we need to do really when you boil it down. It's not about getting a person or talking to the money man or anything like that. Really, what we're looking to do is get some hard actual proof that Ordos are running that house.
Yes.
Now that isn't gonna, like, we can get 8 people and it's still just testimony. What we need is actual hard evidence.
Yeah.
So we need to find out how the house is being controlled. Is it money? Because it might not be. It might be they've stolen the family blinking necklace, right? So we need to find out how they're being controlled and then work out what the evidence is needed for that. So that's the first thing. So yes, listening to communications is good, but we need to, I think, go visit their palace. We need some games.
Oh, on Draconis 4?
No.
Evangelista.
Evangelista, whatever they're called. Yeah, what we need to do is to find out how Angelista, whatever, are being controlled. So,
okay. There can be some gladiatorial games going on.
Yeah, we can do gladiatorial games. And I would like to extend an opportunity for some shared military exercises as well.
Okay. Is that what you want to? Is that what you want to do? Just go to Evangelista to have these to gladiatorial games and.
That's my vote. What do you reckon, Bertim and Darius?
I mean, this is not really my field of expertise. It does seem a bit long-winded as a gut feeling. The whole it's very elaborate what we're trying to do.
The problem is if we go. The reason it has to be slightly elaborate is because if we go straight at them.
Yeah.
First of all, we're not equipped to take them on head on.
No.
And secondly, if we take on this house and we're wrong because we don't have the evidence, our house loses face, as well as losing lots of men. Our house loses face. We've got to go at this in a roundabout fashion. We can't alert these guys at all until it's too late for them. Then we can alert them all we like, because there'll be something quite humorous in watching them scramble when they realize it's too late to do it. But we've got to go in under the radar as roundabout as it is, because if we don't,
okay, so
we are so screwed.
the three plans you've got at the moment is either grab a diplomat at the capital, an officer, Ordos officer from Evangelista, or these games in Evangelista and try to infiltrate their house a little bit. Yeah.
We need to turn up at the games.
I have no problem with a mix of those, actually.
Need to turn up at the games. Bertin loads me full of drugs. I win some big contest and then say, now let's put our militaries against each other in a war game. and then I nuke them when I know where they all are.
How are you going to convince them of doing that?
Right. I was just doing this whole big pitch on subtle.
This is Atomica, she's not subtle.
Yeah, you see, it's Atomica by name, Atomica by nature.
Yeah, like she's literally named after a bomb.
Up until, and then I nuke them. It was going well. Subtle, going well.
Not just nuke. I disarmed them first. It was a war game, so they didn't have any live ammo.
Are you still in this meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So
there's some humor in it, apparently.
Yeah, which doesn't approve of.
I think we should go to the games and use that as an in to just visit their capital and their palace and interact with them. Because until we've interacted with them, we don't really know.
Yeah. Plus.
Yeah.
Plus,
even who they are.
As a show of their might, because it will be about face. Believe you me, a gladiatorial game will be about face. The high-ranking officers and some of their diplomats and so on, members of the house, will be there. So we can at least identify them as possible targets.
Yeah.
And it looks a legit way of doing so.
Would
Yeah,
it
it's
be
convoluted, but...
Would I be expected to compete in this? Is that the done thing, or...?
I mean, there are in the books actually. What's he called? Fade Ryotha actually competed in gladiatorial games. So, but then they have a bit more freedom than that. I mean, than maybe you as a military staff have. I don't know if you'd be expected to compete in games or not, really. I'm not sure, but I mean, there could be an exception.
Okay, I just wanted to establish if there was a protocol already. Okay.
You will be expected to kill the other person. Nuke him.
Just nuke him. Disarm him first, then nuke him. No, actually, yeah, that could draw out a couple of people if you actually compete. Especially if we get the word out that the who was the name of that duke you bested?
Fenring, yes.
Fenring. If we do make a part, the person that recently defeated Lord Fenring in combat will be appearing at the games.
You know what? Getting another big duel victory would maybe just put the nail in the coffin of the Fenring accusation as well. That could actually play into our hands.
Yes.
Well, you think about it. They hate us at the moment and are plotting against us because we beat them in a duel, which we kind of had to do. So actually doing that would help them save face.
Well, actually, it's going to help us save face more, and I'll tell you why. They are running the whole thing is running off the idea that you cheated. You needed drugs. You needed, it wasn't skill versus skill. You were topped up on drugs. He was drugged. It wasn't fair. It wasn't a fair fight. You're not a real combatant. It was all a hoax. You go in there and you smack someone in a gladiatorial arena.
Fair
You
and
put
square
pay
with
to
more
that rumor.
Robotium's drugs.
Mhm.
That's
You
my
put
point,
pay
yeah.
to that rumor.
Yeah.
They lose
That's
face off of that.
So is this the plan? Is going the infiltrate route, the games and infiltrate?
Yes, we've decided if we can't do cooperation, we're going to do prize fighter. There's,
One of Becky's
gonna,
creations.
we're
Basically.
going to get one in there.
Yeah, no, I think that works because it actually kills two birds, one stone.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, we save face. We save face and take Fenring down completely because they're going to look really dumb.
So who are you going to be fighting? Do you think? Who are you going to aim to fight?
I don't know.
Don't care.
Anybody? Okay.
I mean, come on, I'm taking on the Emperor's best duel list, so.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's going to end up being. I mean, it's going to end up being someone who Vigilista feel are is someone of sort of equal stature.
It'll probably be their Sword Master or something.
Yeah, they're going to try and do like for like.
Oh no, because you have to kill. So actually, they might not. They might not have one.
No, I think they will because they will absolutely believe they can win, and that will send a clear message to our house.
Would they, if Atomic has just beaten Fenring, would they think they can win?
Yeah,
probably not. But what they might do is get some assassin from House Ordos with some Ixion technology.
Sound better.
Which I've just realised I've just given the GM the fucking plot.
Right. We need to have these discussions without Phil being here.
Okay.
So what we need is
just be Google Ixion technology.
Yeah, what we need is an EMP burst just above the stadium. Best way to achieve that is a nuclear detonation.
Stop.
Okay, the proverbial dog with a bone. The bone being nuclear holocaust by hook or by crook.
No, I've just been on the receiving end of players doing all sorts of shit with EMPs before, so yeah.
I've never known a game where atomic annihilation has been thrown around so casually so many times.
Again, not by me.
Or me.
I'm taking a back seat on the nuclear.
I'm merely cautioning that that's perhaps a tad less subtle than we're looking for. Not really out, mind you, but I'm just saying, subtle.
Virgin might want to read up on radiation sickness though and treatments, but
I specialize in narcotics, not radiation.
Oh, tell your friends that.
At least I got you to produce a radioactive pill, so I'm halfway there.
Yes, but somehow the GM has said that's okay, so I managed to produce one.
What we could do is make everyone so hyped up that they don't even notice there's a nuke going off.
Really?
So what you
put something in the water?
Sorry, Phil?
Yes, I just wonder what you still want to do this or?
Yeah, we're gonna do the gladiatorial game thing.
Yeah, it makes the most sense from what we've come up with.
Mm. And we're also going to prepare our population for a propaganda campaign to just take prudent measures. We'll call it duck and cover.
Oh,
you come up with that on the spur of the moment. That's brilliant.
Stop, drop, and bunker down.
Yeah.
That is brilliant.
Stop, dig, and bunker. Yeah.
So, are you going to get
hunker down? Your bunker down.
Oh, sorry, hunker, not bunker down.
you're getting Darius to do some invitation or some request or something to facilitate the games.
Well,
offer a
I
challenge or
will,
something.
I will be speaking with my opposite number.
Okay.
With a couple of things in mind. One, to set up these games. If they ask about, it sounds like strange timing. I will mention that one of the officers unfortunately had a slight incident with an ornithopter, and it was while she was there got the idea for oh, that would be fun. Little contest between the two houses. Sell it that way so it doesn't look suspicious. Just tie it in with something they know that we know happened.
Yeah, so you can contact him and
also I want to get a feel for this guy.
yeah.
Just think, well,
Can you do that over the phone?
You'd be amazed what I'm capable of doing over a phone.
Yeah, so
Jason said.
So, do you want to? Yeah. So, Woodson, what can we do for you? Don't hear from you very often.
Well, no. One of my security officers was involved in a minor incident with a malfunctioning ornithopter.
I heard. Yes, crashed it apparently.
Yes. Well, I mean, she while she was there, she noticed how good the troops looked, all the drills and everything, and she came up with the idea that it would be possibly a lot of fun and maybe quite interesting for the commoners, to have a competition of arms, a good old-fashioned, what do they call them, a gladiatorial games between our two houses.
Oh, okay.
Bit of fun.
Not for a minute, I thought you was going to ask, seeing our army was so impressive, I thought you were going to ask for some tips.
Right. He doesn't, the things he does not see because we're on the phone, my wry smile, my mental noting, and I'm going to smite you one for that later. I'm now mentally taking note. Fucker's getting it. Don't care now. Fucker's getting it for that.
Hope he's got a shield.
Don't care. I'm just going to shoot a ray gun at him and nuke the bastard.
Unfortunately, when you do that, the shield and the laser gun blows up.
I never said I would be the one firing it.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought it sounded a rather dandy idea. I wondered
very
if you
interesting. Yeah. I mean, if you want to send over your champion, we can. There's some games going on.
Yes, I as we decorate all the bunkers with white paint.
Reflect the flash, you see, that's what it does.
It ups the selling price, to be fair.
I thought it would be an interesting thing. As you know, we have this wedding coming up. I thought it would be an interesting preamble to the main event of the wedding.
Oh, I thought we'd be holding it just in Mazine then, if that was the case. But you want to come over here and do it?
Well, we can iron out the details, but we're very we think it would be a fun diversion. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we can arrange something. If you want to send your champion over, we can. We don't want another body in the fighting pits.
Yes. Fuckers definitely getting it. I will send a dispatch within the next day with all the appropriate details. I'd be very interested in hearing your thoughts and counter proposals. Obviously, this will be a joint venture. We'll be working on things together.
Is Shavona putting up a prize purse then, or?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure a small prize purse can be placed into it, but I think we'll be playing as much for honor of the house as much as any monies. But yes, we could always add a little flavour with a bit of a purse.
Okay, I'm sure we can at least match that, if not give a little bit more. That'd be good. Send over what you want to do.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Put the phone down. Atomica, I'm going to be giving some details. Please add whatever details that you feel are necessary. Also, when this thing is over, I want to see your blade inside that guy's skull. Just just a suggestion.
Yeah, I could hear his voice, even though through the phone, and like he was running rings around you, wasn't he?
No. I was allowing him to. I was lulling him into a true sense of security.
So, what do you want to do? You're happy with that? Then you're gonna go over and do it over there. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, with that, I will leave all the actual details to Atomica. A, because it's her idea, and and B, my as character, my knowledge of the logistics of the security is beyond my remit. I'm just the person who signs the form. It says, okay, yeah, right.
You're not taking the Duke, the lady, and the parents over
if they want to come. Could pose the question.
Well, yeah. Plus, I have sort of stated that as a possible that this might be seen as a possible preamble to the wedding. So
yeah, you did that. I was just wondering, because that's why I asked, because you said that, and I'm just thinking, if you think that they're going to attack you, do you want those people there?
That's a good point, actually. Yeah. The family of the bride, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually the family of the bride dying could actually help us, considering he's related to the emperor.
Exactly.
If it happens by their hand or is seen to be on their hand, Phil's like, what have I fucking got myself into here?
Dear me.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was a case of having to sell it as innocently as possible, and they all know that the wedding's coming, so selling it as preamble to the wedding, I thought was a good way of doing it.
You could always arrange for everybody to go to see this fight, and then at the last minute, the Duke could be called away on some emergency, and just them go.
That's one way of doing it. But I will leave the sort of structural details, the security and everything that's set up in the hands of Atomica.
Basically, just getting us three into their palace is all I was trying to do.
So yeah, you can. It's all arranged. We'll say it's all arranged. All the detail has been ironed out, and the day comes for you all to travel over to Evangelista territory. And we'll say, if you want, you've done that. The Duke's been called away at the last minute to some emergency, and the bride and the mother and father are going to travel with you with their little entourage. And you can
check the ornithopter's got enough fuel.
Yeah, and you can take a few guards as well of your own to make it look like you're protecting them as well. And you can fly over, and probably not that day, but maybe the day after will be the actual gladiatorial event.
I want your best drugs.
Which I can give you.
What are you using? Using some stimulants and.
Yeah, probably just the same as before. I wasn't expecting to do anything worse or stronger or anything.
This is a point. If we can't find proof, we could just manufacture someone. Great idea, Steve.
They don't need any help, Steve.
No, we don't, apparently.
Suppose you didn't send them over on their own ornithopter, arrange them, and then blow that out with a nuke or something. Yeah, so you can be.
Look, the fact that I have never ruled out the use of a las shield nuke, the fact that in the very first session I started training somebody to actually do it, and the fact that I named my character Atomica and then a word in another language for shield. This is purely coincidence. It just happened to be the best strategy.
Just typing out loud. The day of the gladiatorial combat arrives, and you get shown to the arena, and you're welcomed by. Sorry.
I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
Oh,
is
right.
the arena part of the palace or near the palace? Like, are we staying at the palace?
Yeah, you can be staying not at the palace, but within the grounds. There's like a guest quarters. The arena is there, and you get welcomed at the arena by the Baron Evangelista. And he says, "Well, you're gonna take on our champion. This is going to be good."
Oh, hopefully more of a challenge than Lord Fenring was.
Well, this guy's been fighting for quite a few years. I think as you give Fenring a run for his money, he's very, very good. So, for a slave anyway, but
Oh, you have unmotivated people in your army. Interesting.
He's very motivated. He's very motivated. If he kills you, he's free.
Sorry, I missed that.
If he kills you, he's free.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So either way, you've lost your champion.
It will probably be worth it. So yeah, you can get prepared. Are you going in the traditional sort of like? Are you wearing a shield for this? Because some people wear shields. They'll give the slave like a half shield. Are you using the two fighting knives? For the
yeah, I have shield, 2 knives. Yeah. I'll leave the lasgun behind. Don't worry.
That's not. Yeah, that's not gladiatorial sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have the same things. I guess I used to against Fenring, because I guess I've still got them.
Yeah, and Bertim, are you gonna shoot Atomica up with all the narcotics you've got in your bag?
Yeah, again, I guess so.
What?
I was dreading that whole sentence, and then you said up. All I heard was, Burton, are you going to shoot
Ronald.
Atomica?
Actually, to be fair, I heard that as well.
Are you going to shoot Atomica up? And I'm like, oh, thank God.
Are we gonna try and nobble this slave?
What?
I don't think we're going to get a chance.
We could like blow dart him from the side of the arena.
I mean, you obviously, Bertram and Darius, if you want to, you could be in the changing rooms with Atomica as she's getting ready to get the drugs and stuff. But you won't see the other guy. You're not in his changing room, unless you want to try and do something sneaky, or let's say blow dart him during the match. Or if you get caught though.
I'm getting the impression that there's quite a big crowd type thing.
There will be quite a big crowd, yeah.
Yeah, you won't get away with that. Yeah, okay. I'll just go out with cocaine around my nose then, I guess.
Not cocaine. It's far more refined than that.
Can you give me a roll, please, Bertram, for
Yes.
we'll see how effective your drug concoction will be.
I guess this would be pharmacy narcotics, would it?
Yes.
If there was ever a time for you to roll 2 6s, including the red die,
How
now
about
would be the time.
How about one of those karma things?
Karma things.
Karma point things. We've got like 4 of them. We never spent them.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Can you roll first, or do you have to declare beforehand?
It's been so long since I read that now.
I mean, put it this way: I have a bonus of 7 points.
What, a karma effect? Oh, I see. Yeah.
I mean, you could use karma points. You could use them during the fight, actually.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, so drama die is I get 11.
11, that's good. Yeah, that's the high end of challenging. So,
Well, I am good at my job, you know.
Yeah.
obviously you are. Where's the common points? I have to find that. You give Atomica what you think as you thought about what she's going to do. You thought about what drugs you're going to need to heighten her abilities, and you give her a dose that you think appropriate. What I'd like to do is end it there tonight, so I can reread the combat rules for next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume, incidentally, I've had sufficient time for that wound to heal.
Yeah. It was only a minor wound. Yeah, you weren't massively injured. You've had.
Is that the same for myself? Actually, from receiving friendly fire.
You've had a lot of time now. You've probably had weeks since that happened. Where's karma? Yeah, so I'm going to reread the combat rules because we'll be going straight into gladiatorial combat next week. Find a bit about karma as well, because you can re-roll or change the die results really with karma points, can't you?
I honestly don't know. But I want to ace this guy in quick order, like not just win. I want to trounce him, so I'm willing to spend points.
So 1 karma point is stopping an enemy from performing an undesired action.
That's right.
2 karma points, stopping an enemy from performing a series of undesired actions. 3 to 4 is thwarting an enemy's master plan. Now, you can't just spend those at the beginning of the game just to thwart the enemy's master plan.
No. It's like the way I'm seeing it is 1 is like he hits me, I can turn it to a miss. 2 is I can get a similar effect, but over a course of several turns. And 3 is I might turn the tide of that battle.
Yes.
Not the plot of the campaign.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
But if we pool all our karma points together, we can nuke them all from orbit, because it's the only way to be sure.
And 4 might be I just throw my knife directly to his forehead at the start of the battle.
So actually, you might be able to what was that say?
Yeah, but would that knife be going slow-mo though, because it actually going slower
That's got a
through?
hard shield. I think it would be so damn fast it gets there before the shield's fired up.
Interesting.
If you
Like
have
it's they go to switch the shields on, and then the knife just passes through just as it comes up.
so
That
if
would
you
be epic.
sorry, carry on.
As I just seen Steve's comment, Steve's last comment there. Nothing to apologize for, Stevie.
No, nothing at all.
Always great to see the interaction. You always come up with some interesting ideas, actually. So, no apologies needed.
I like the chat. It's like we're not
It's good.
alone.
Yeah,
here.
more chat,
We streamed
please.
for all these years, and we have a viewer now.
Yeah, it's good to be. It's good to have someone that's engaged with it as well, isn't it? It's really
Exactly.
good.
Exactly.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Keep them coming. It'd be worse if you're just sitting there and not engaging at all.
Mm.
You know, just no. Get stuck in.
So if you have an heroic sacrifice, so if you suffer severe injury or personal loss, in order to further your mission, you could receive a substantial karma award. In such cases, the character could recover 4 to 6 karma points. So you could actually gain 2 more karma points.
Just by killing myself in this fight.
Not necessarily dying, no. But you could lose if you wanted to, in the off chance that you could free the slave.
No, because we've got the Fenring thing as well, so I'm actually tempted to blow 4 points and ask if I can actually do the knife throw so quickly I go through his shield before it powers on.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could spend 4 karma points for that. Yeah, certainly.
And just like embed it in his forehead, fight over. The guy's still trying to power on his shield,
Yeah, that's good. I'll reread the rules for next week because it's
very tempted for that, which actually would prevent me for any dice rolling on combat rule reading.
Well, there's that. Plus, as part of what we want to do here is just nip that whole Fenring fucking we're a bunch of cheating bastards rumor thing in the bud. It will absolutely just kill it dead.
Even though Bertram's just jacked him up with all the drugs he's had.
Not the point. It will look like a swift, quick, clean, above board victory.
It'd be like Big Trouble in Little China where he catches the knife.
Yeah, it's all in the reflexes.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that?
What, drug you up? Yes.
No, blow all my Karama points.
I think it's worth it.
Or is it Karama?
Karama. I think it's worth it. I think the positives outweigh the negatives.
There you go, Phil. No need to read the combat rules.
There isn't.
I will delete them from my character sheet.
Straight blade, right in the head.
Up next week if you like, but that's what's going to happen. I have spent all 4 Karama points.
I'll set the scene up. I'll big atomic it up.
Yeah. Then the fight gets declared as go. Somebody drops the hanky. The guy starts powering up his shield, and the knife goes through just before the shield gets there.
Ouch.
Into the forehead.
Good stuff.
Well, I think on that note we should cut the broadcast, and we will see you next Saturday to see how that unfolds.
Yep. Thanks, Steve.
See you later,
Thank you,
Stephen.
Steve.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.